This full panel we got, well, joining us this evening, this rather dramatic evening, representing the Bharatiya Janata Party, Dr. Sambit Patra, spokesperson of the BJP, Swapan Das Gupta. He has been with us all through the day today. Rajya Sabha MP and resident commentator Sabha Naqvi, well-known journalist, joining us as well. Ms. Shailja Chandra, someone who certainly knows a thing or two about the relationship between bureaucrats and politicians. Ajoy Bose, our in-house commentator, and J.V. Shergill, representing the Congress Party. Welcome to all of you on the program. Dr. Patra, let me begin with you.
He's elder to me, to even the Commerce Ministry, who already had a fallen record of falling exports.
Shailja Chandra, you know, the other part, Shailja Chandra, of this entire cabinet reshuffle exercise has been the entry of bureaucrats. The sense which one gets is that by bringing in bureaucrats, IAS officers, IPS officers, IFS officers, the Prime Minister is giving the sense that he believes last mile delivery mechanisms, last mile connectivity can be best provided by those politicians who may also have a good experience of running bureaucracy. How does this bureaucrat turned politico experience really work according to you, Shailja ji?
Well, I think it can work extremely well because you cannot really say that experience does not matter. Knowing how systems work, knowing how processes are run, how ministries are run, departments, down to the grassroots level, it is very, very important. But having said that, I would say that there's nothing wrong with bringing in bureaucrats. It's a good thing. If they have been politically loyal, why not? One shouldn't be ashamed of that. If you have been working for a political party, you do need to be rewarded, because that is the only way other people would want to get interested in this. But I am a little surprised at the way in which the allocation of portfolios has been done, because I would have thought that Hardeep Puri, with his background in the United Nations and as a diplomat, he was really, I would say, really a competent choice for the Ministry of External Affairs, or even for tourism or something like that. But urban development is the nuts and bolts of sewage, water supply, going down to the whole question of migration, big cities, the fact that we are going to have so much migration in the coming years. These are things which, if you have handled during your period as a bureaucrat, you would be able to grapple with it very easily. I'm not sure that, I'm sure he would be able to find the right answers. I'm sure he has very good advisors. But that does seem to me odd, because that is one ministry which could, because of his elevation there, could become very Delhi-centric. And really, urban development, if it is a Ministry of Urban Development, it is for the country. And there's a lot happening in the country. Smart cities is not the only part of the country. And there I was a little surprised. I don't know Mr. Puri very well. I'm sure he'll acquit himself brilliantly. Well, but I just felt he could have been used better somewhere else. Now, coming to Mr. Alphonse, I think that he's one of those people who...
Go ahead, Shailja ji, go ahead.
Do you want me to speak?
No,
you don't?
Go ahead, ma'am, go ahead.
Yeah. So as far as Mr. Alphonse is very well known to Delhi as a no-nonsense person. He's a go-getter, but a very nice person to deal with. He's not a person who, puts up the hackles of anybody, and yet he gets jobs done extremely well. I wish, this is my personal, you might say, assessment. I know that he was known as a demolition man, and I know that if he had come in urban development, it could have, sort of started a whispering campaign that everything is going to once again become, you might say, a demolition of Delhi and other structures and things. That's something which would have happened had he been put there. But that is the experience he has as an IAS officer, the grassroots experience which could have been used. Of course, he will do a brilliant job in the two portfolios.
So let me, can I put it this way?
But I would have thought a technocrat would have handled electronics.
So you are a little surprised, with the portfolio allocation. So let me take that to Ajoy Bose then. You know, Ajoy, you know Hardeep Puri well.
Yes.
There is Hardeep Puri, who was Ajoy, who was in Washington, who was in New York, who was helping the Prime Minister on the Capitol Hill. Now, to expect Hardeep Puri to work as a junior minister, work as an MOS, but in urban development. Satyapal Singh, former Mumbai Police Commissioner, again in a different role. You think Amit Shah is really trying to tell people, look,
absolutely,
I know. Is Amit Shah trying to tell people, I know what you are good for, and I will put you in a place where you will get the best possible political experience? Is that the messaging coming through?
listen, I'm very confused because I can't quite understand what is Hardeep doing in housing instead of either external affairs or commerce. We forget that, Hardeep's had vast experience in WTO negotiations. So he could have been in commerce, he could have been in external affairs. Housing, which Alphonse knows very well, because of his experience in urban development and in the DDA, should have been his. And you have these two, one a former Home Secretary and another Mumbai Police Chief, being put into HRD and power. So I'm a little surprised. If you are really getting bureaucrats from their nuts and bolts, hands-on experience in the bureaucracy, why not put them in areas, because time is short. As you said, that time is short. Till 2019, you have to prove, you have to give delivery. So I would have thought. So I find there's a certain haphazard air about the portfolio allocation.
Really?
Frankly, we're
Samit
surprised.
Patra? Samit Patra?
Quick, point about Nirmala Sitharaman.
Can I?
One more. Let me tell you, since you're saying it's haphazard, Ajoy's allegation is this is haphazard allocation of portfolios. Samit Patra, you want to respond to that?
No, I would respond to that definitely, saying that I would like to refute that it is a haphazard relocation of the work or reshuffling done over here, because I firmly believe that experience in any sector does carry on to the other sector as well. For instance, Shailaja ji over here, when we were all in Delhi, I mean, Shailaja ji was the chief secretary. Naturally, she had experiences on varied sectors. So maybe if she is put in one sector, she would probably carry the experience of other sectors to that.
But she says, if you have a proven skill, if you have a proven skill set, if you have a proven track record in one field, why not put the individual in that area? So why not put Hardeep Puri instead of urban development? Why not put him in Ministry for External Affairs?
No, in fact, she herself gave an example in a very tangential way about KJ Alphonse. So naturally, that is the prerogative of the Prime Minister, and the deputed spokespersons are not supposed to make assertions or cast aspersions on the Prime Minister's prerogative. The experts can do so, but I would only say, and I believe you would agree with me, that experience has this habit of carrying itself to any department.
It matters,
These experienced bureaucrasts.
No, you're saying it doesn't matter.
Experienced bureaucrats can naturally perform and deliver in their respective fields.
If I can, I would only like to say two things here. There are the experience that you bring from one ministry to the other is something very valuable, and sometimes officers are able to bring the best of the past into the future, no doubt. But I think the subject of external affairs is extremely complex, complicated, and institutional memory matters a lot. I think that Hardeep Puri could have been used very effectively there or in commerce, as was just suggested. As far as an IAS officer is concerned, I am absolutely certain Alphonse will be able to deliver in whichever ministry he's put in. But I also feel, you never asked me this question, but I do want to say something. I am delighted that Nirmala Sitharaman is in the Defense Ministry. I worked in the Defense Ministry. I relate with former Defense Ministry officers even now, socially that is. I would only say that while they are extremely good and extremely cultured and very, very polite and extremely courteous, the fact remains that they do not expect women to be able to contribute with substance in a field like defense. I think that she, because of the way that she is a no-nonsense person, she's a person who is known to go into very, very intricate detail, will be able to show and shine that a woman not only has substance, but knows how to run things. She is one of those women, and I'm delighted that she's been put there.
I'm very clear. The more I listen to you, Shailaja and Sabha Naqvi and Sopan earlier, I think I'm getting the clearest political message from this cabinet reshuffle. That this is, Ajay.